Dear friends, today we are going to configure DHCP server across the network. The entire process can be divided into 5 major steps. The first step is creating a network with proper labeling of the ports and the networks. We should make a habit of labeling all the ports. Let's see. In our example, there are network 1, network 2, network 3, and all these three networks are connected through router 1, router 2 and router 3. Now we will be labeling all the ports as well as networks. For example, in this network I will be labeling 192.168.20.0, which is the network address of the assumed network 1. So this is 192.168.20.0 is my first network. In this I am having one switch, three computers are there, and one DHCP server is there. Now next is this is my second network 192.168.10.0, in which there are 4 computers or one switch, and this is my third network 192.168.30.0, in which there are 3 computers and one switch. Now this is the network of the routers. This is router 1, router 2, router 3. So make it a habit of writing the port numbers on the diagram itself so that it will be helpful. This is fast Ethernet port 0/0. This is serial Ethernet port, serial port 3/0, serial port 2/0. So I have written all these labeling over here. Now these 3 routers are having 3 networks 10.0.0.0. These 2 networks. These 2 routers are on the network 20.0.0.0, and these 2 routers are on network 30.0.0.0. Now once this network is ready, the second step is configuring the ports of the router. In this case, what we are going to do, we are going to open this router 1. In this case, go to the configure, and in configure we will see F0/0. This is, first of all, we switch it on. Once it is switched on, we will see put IP address 192.168.20.1. So I am assuming that this is my network 1 and its gateway address is 192.168.20.1. So I will be putting this gateway address over here. Then second is my serial port 2/0. So we can see from the figure. So it is a part of network 10.0.0.0. So I have given it address 10.0.0.1. So after switching it on, I have to set the clock. So I can give some clock rate over here. Then similarly serial port 3/0. So you can see serial port 3/0 is a part of the network 30.0.0.0. So I have given it 30.0.0.1. So this address is given to it. Now I have configured router number 1. Similarly, I have to configure router number 2. So if I click over here, go to config and go to fast Ethernet 0/0. In this case, my fast Ethernet 0/0 is acting as a gateway for 192.168.10.0. So I have given it 192.168.10.1, and again the same process. I have to switch on the routers. Then if I look for the serial port 2/0, now in our example 2/0 is a part of network 10.0.0.0. So I have given it address 10.0.0.2, and similarly for serial port 3/0, serial port 3/0, it is a part of network 20.0.0.0. So I have given it an address 20.0.0.1. Now I have configured router number 2. Now I will configure router number 3. In case of router number 3, again the same process is to be repeated. So if I go to configure, go to fast Ethernet 0/0. So if I will look over here, fast Ethernet 0/0 is a part of the gateway for the network 192.168.30.0. So I have given it address 192.168.30.1. Similarly, serial port 2/0, it is a part of the network 20.0.0.0. So I have given it an IP address 20.0.0.2, and fast serial port 3/0 is a part of 30.0.0.0. So I have given it address 30.0.0.2. Now I have configured all the ports of these router. Now after configuring all the ports of all the routers, the next step is to put the routing information in the router so that my packet can route among the networks. If I look into here, first of all, again going to the first router. So I can be using static routing, or I can use dynamic routing. So in case of dynamic routing, I have seen that this router is connected to 3 networks, 10.0.0.0. So I will be writing over here 10.0.0.0, and I will be adding. So this is added to my network. Similarly, it is connected to 30.0.0.0. So I will be adding 30.0.0.0. So ideally it is added. Then next is it is connected to the third network 192.168.20.0. So I will be writing 192.168.30.0, and I will be adding it. Now, sorry, it is 20.0. So I have added this 10.0.0.0, 30.0.0.0, 192.168.20.0, and these 3 networks are connected to this router. So I have put the addresses of all the networks which are there. Now similarly, I will be configuring the routing information in case of router number 2. So it is connected to 3 networks, 10.0.0.0. So I will be doing it. So I will show you how to do it. So you can see this router 2 is connected to 3 networks. So first is 10.0.0.0. So I will putting add. Then it is connected to the network 20.0.0.0. So I will doing it add, and it is connected to third network, which is 192.168.10.0. So I will be adding it. Now I have added all these. Now it is a routing information protocol which is going to decide the routes. Similarly, I am going to put the routing information for router number 3. I have put all the 3 addresses 20.0.0.0, 30.0.0.0, and 192.168.30.0. Now my third step is over. Now next step is step number 4, which is configuring the DHCP server. step number 4 is configuring a DHCP server, which is again consisting of two parts. First is I have to give IP address, static IP address to the DHCP server, and then I have to put the range of the addresses. Let's see how we can do it. Go to DHCP server, click on it. First is desktop, go to IP addresses. First of all, I have to give a static IP address to the DHCP server. Now you can see that first is this DHCP server is a part of the network 192.168.20.0. Now 20.1 I have already given to this gateway, so I will be giving it as 192.168.20.2. So by default subnet mask will be 255.455.255.255, and default gateway I have to define over here. This is my default gateway 192.168.20.1, which I have given at the port F0 by 0. Now this is step number 1, in which I have given a static IP address to the DHCP server. Now I have to configure DHCP server. For DHCP service, I will go to DHCP and switch on the services. By default it will be off. I have to switch on the services, and then I have to define the range of the addresses. So first of all, I will be removing the previous ranges. So let it remove it. So by default you will be saying that there will be server pool. So in server pool I have to give all the information. So first of all, because this is a part, server pool is giving IP addresses to the same network to which my DHCP server is connected. So there is no need to give default gateway or DNS server. So I will be only giving the starting IP address. So let it be 192.168.20. So I have kept reserved 10 IP addresses for administrative purposes. So I will be starting for 11. So this IP address is 192.168.20.0. This is my network address. So I will start my IP address range from 192.168.20.11, and default mask will be there. So I will be putting it the save. So once it is saved, so I can see over here on the network. So if I go to my one of the PCs, I go to the desktop and go to IP addresses. If I put it DHCP, so it is requesting for IP address. So it is giving the address 192.168.20.11. So it's good. So if I go to another PC and go to desktop, so DHCP, so it is requesting for IP address. So it is 20.12. That is my DHCP server is working for the local network. Now I have to configure this DHCP server for the networks which are across the routes. So let's see DHCP server. So in this case again I will be going to the services. On services I have to go to DHCP, and in DHCP I have to add the pool of addresses. So first of all I will be giving one new name. Let it be pool 1. Then default gateway to which your DHCP server is connected. So 192.168.20. I have given it 1. So no need for DNS right now. So I have to give the range of the IP addresses. So 192.168. Now this my network is 192.168.10.0. So I will give a new range 192.168.10.11, and I will put add. So first pool is added. Now I will be doing for the pool number 2. Again all the settings will remain same, except the range of the starting IP address will be now 192.168.30.11, and I will be putting add. Now configuration of my DHCP server is over. Now I have done with this step number 4. Now step number 5. In this case we have to give some command line interfaces on the ports where my gateways are situated, so that addresses can be fetched. So there are four commands are there. First of all, I have to go to CLI interface. Then I will be putting router. This router, this will be visible to me. I will be typing a command en, which is enabling the router, which is command for enabling the router. Once router is enabled, the command prompt is changed to router hash. Now I will type over here config, CUNF-TEM, short form of config terminal. So now I will be having my command prompt router config hash. So in this I have to type the port to which my network is connected. So I will giving int fa0/0. So I will be getting a command from now router config this. Now I have to give the port and IP address of the DHCP server. So it's IP space helper dash address. Now here I will writing the address of the DHCP server and entering it. Now I will be getting router config hash as a command prompt. Type exit once, then again type exit. I will be coming with the command from router hash. So let's try to do this, all these commands on all the routers. So one of my network is connected to this port, so I will be doing on this router. Go to command line interface, put some enters. So I am having router hash. So in this case, now my first command will be enable. So my router is already enabled, so it is showing the same command. So next command is conf space term. So config terminal. So next command is int fa0/0, the port to which my network is connected. Enter. Now my interface is opened. Now next command is I have to give the IP space helper space helper dash address. This command is going to help the router to find out the DHCP server 192.168.20.2. This is my DHCP server. So entering, it's showing invalid input detect. So again I am going to type IP space helper dash address space 192.168.20.2 enter. So it has accepted the command. So I will go exit, enter, exit, enter. I am out now. Now I will checking whether my this network is getting the commands or not. Go to desktop, IP. So if I put a DHCP, so it is requesting for IP address. So it is getting. So it is 192.168.10.11. That means the range which we have given by the DHCP server, that is being accepted. Similarly, the same command will be executed for this particular port. So I will be going to the command line interface, and again I will be putting all the commands over here. So you can see putting exit, enter, exit, enter. So I have at the router. So first command will be enable router. So enable router, my router is already enabled, so I don't need you, but you have to give at the first time you have to enable the router by giving en command enable router. Then next command will be int. Next one is config terminal, CONTERM conf terminal. So I have to give in the command. Then I have to open the interface int fa0/0. So interface is opened. Now I will give IP helper, IP space helper dash address space address of the DHCP server 192.168.20.2 and hitting enter. So again exit, enter, exit. Now I will checking whether my network is working or not. I will clicking over here, going to desktop, IP addresses, Wi-Fi gives DHCP. So it is requesting for IP addresses, so it is getting the range of the addresses which we have given to the DHCP server. In this way we can configure a DHCP server across the networks, so it is working. Thank you, students.